Hey everyone, this is Nitro. So it is the last day of the Reincarnations of Light banner, and on that banner so far I have done 94 summons to get Ares, and then 80 more summons and I got Alte Muller. So at this point, I'm wondering if I should even try one last time for Maiya, because I really don't have much crystals or vouchers on hand. But ultimately, you know what, I might as well give it a shot. If I get nothing, then, you know, it's just heading towards the pity rate for my next summon. So, whatever. So I'm just going to do as many summons as I can now to try to get another SSR on this banner. So, here we go. It's not going to be very many. I think it's like 30 summons, tops. So the first 10 summon gave me nothing. Okay, so let's do another 10. Also nothing. And I think this is my last 10 summon. And nothing. So, and that's all I'm gonna do at this point. So in total, what this has meant is I've done 94 plus 80 plus 30 summons, which is 204 summons for 2 SSRs on this banner, which is honestly a bit of a mess, but what can you do? So the final result of the banner summons is just what you see on the screen right now. So the previous banner, the Lodos War, in total, I ended up at around the 2% rate because I got 11 SSRs on 541 summons. Okay, so and then here on this banner, Ares and Maiya, I got 2 SSRs on actually 206 summons. I thought it was 204. It was actually 206 summons. So that is less than the 1% rate. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, you know, I mean, luck comes and goes ultimately, right? And that's how it is. And my current SSR rate is a 2.1% SSR rate. Since at least since the start of the game. So that is not too bad so far. At least I can't really complain about it, and we'll see how this rate continues to change. It is definitely slowly dropping, right? It was at around 2.2 or close to it before. I think I hit 2.18% at one point. So it's now dropping a bit to get closer to the 2% average. So with the summoning done, I'm going to quickly go over what happened last week in terms of equipment farming and crystal farming. Okay, so as always, to do this, I am going to be bringing up the table that I usually use to cover this. So basically, last week or last Monday, I had 4 vouchers and 913 crystals on hand. Right, today I currently have 766 crystals on hand, but I did 30 summons just now. So assuming I didn't get any vouchers at all, that's basically a 2,141 crystal increase, because this would mean for the 30 summons, I used 26 vouchers, right? So 26 times 88 minus the value I had before, and then add in the remaining value I currently have for 2,141 crystals. So it's going to definitely be a bit less than that, but roughly in that range, because I definitely did get some vouchers increase, right? So for every voucher I got, you basically drop this by, 88 crystals? Pretty much. In any case though, you know, this is just a demonstration of roughly what I got over the past week. So let's move on. So other than the crystals, okay, equipment farming results of last week were surprisingly high. I actually got a lot of SSRs. So the week beforehand, keep in mind that week was when we still had the 3 daily runs of dragons. So that week I got 14 SSRs. Last week I actually ended up getting 13. So that was a big surprise to me. Okay, 13 for 2 daily runs is incredibly high. And the SSRs I got was, for Timeless Trial I got a Holy Grail, which continues to be garbage, right? So I ordered that. Because I got so many SSRs last week, I ended up doing all my gambles. And out of those gambles, the weapons were 300 ore, The helms, one of them was useful, an Odin's Battle Helm, which gives me a 4th one at level 40. So if I get another one, I would have a level I would have a 4th Odin's Battle Helm at level 50, right? But the other 2 were Ord. And then the 3 armor gambles gave me an Azure Legend, which raises an existing Azure Legend to level 30 at this time, okay? And then I got 200 ore out of that in return, right? So I am definitely going to start reducing my gambles, and I'll mention that very shortly as to why. Other than that, for dailies and joint battles, well, on Monday I got a Tiara and Loki's Mask. I bolded these, but really they're both Ord, okay? Joint battles actually gave me 2 more, a Seal Guardian and Windcutter Dagger, both of which were also Ord. But that's 4 SSRs in one day, which is crazy. Tuesday gave me 3 SSRs still, a Gaia's Armor, or Demon Lizard Skin, which makes my first Demon Lizard Skin to level 30, and an Assault Headgear, which is Ore. Wednesday was an Assault Headgear and Seal Guardian, both were Ord. Thursday gave me a Twilight Helmet, another Ord item. Friday gave me a Reaper's Breath, which was Ord. Saturday, Goddess Dress, Ord. Sunday, Frostrend and Purgatory. I also tried using 4 random accessory box purchases and didn't get anything out of those. So regardless though, this is a crazily high SSR rate in 1 week, right? So I have no complaints. And I did use a lot of these to do the gambles, right? Which kind of balanced out the costs. So that was the SSRs for last week, okay? Now, let's jump back into the game and talk about the other aspects or changes to my account at this time. So let me just jump in and we'll continue. All right. So other than that, the SSRs, right? This week I've already gotten a few SSRs, but I'll cover that in next week's video. But in terms of gambling for this week, what I've done is I've continued to do weapon gambles and the headgear gambles, but I've abandoned the SSR armor gambles, you know. I could use more last rites and whatnot, but ultimately I'd rather give up on that for now and focus on getting more epic martial spirits. I realized I have a lot of gear I actually need to raise up, and for that I really need to buy more epic martial spirits. So for now I'm going to reduce my gambling a bit for items, although I will continue to try to do weapons. I'm not sure if I'm going to even continue the headgear at this time. Okay, and the reason for that is because I still need, you know, extreme magic bows, Mimir's war axes, for example. I'm actually kind of torn, to be perfectly honest. I may just stop the weapon gambles too, because what I need now is just, as I mentioned, extreme magic bow, a Mimir's war axe, and finally I could use a few more balanced blades. Okay, I currently just have 1 balanced blade, and I could always use more of those. So there are 3 weapons I do want, but for now I think I need to focus on upgrading existing gear. So I'm probably going to abandon gambling even weapons for now. Armor wise, right, it continues to be the last rites preferably, but it is what it is. Last rites is the preferred item that I need, and if I could get more Tenuous robes, they could help, but I don't 100% need those, right? I could also use a few more Aeolus's battle armors, but once again, that's more of a nice to have. Okay, and then headgear is literally just now focused on getting more Tenuous headdresses, right? I think Tenuous headdresses would have the most impact on my PvP party overall out of all these items I mentioned. So I feel that I'm going to be focusing my gambling on the Tenuous. Okay, so I may just give up on the weapons as well for now and just focus on headgear gambles to try to get a few more Tenuous headdresses. Accessories you can't really gamble for, but it continues to be more Swordsmith medals, more Juggler plushies, you know, more Twilight Stars now actually, and preferably at least 1 Apex boots. So there are still a bunch of items that I need for the accessories, but since you can't really gamble for them, it's going to be pure luck on whether I get those. So those are more or less the items I'm looking for. So other than that, in terms of the summoning, right? Well, you just saw me do some summoning. And I now have no savings, which is kind of a mess because of what's coming up next month. I was supposed to keep savings, but I have no control at the end of the day. I really did want to try to get a Maiya. It failed, so it is what it is, you know. So we'll see how it goes. You know, even though I failed on getting Maiya now, I will have to get her later on. And there is a Yulia Maiya banner, as I previously mentioned. So I'll just wait for that. Next up is events. So in terms of the events, what's been going on so far is that I've done multiple maps with Strange Traveler, right? I think 4 of them, and I haven't seen any new Strange Traveler map since. So I'm now wondering if there were only just those 4. It's kind of odd, because the story didn't feel like it was finished yet, but it is what it is. So maybe those 4 were the only maps because the event is about to end. Other than the Strange Traveler maps, there is the Magic Tower Conquest, which actually ends the following week, not this week. So Magic Tower Conquest, which ends on the 25th, I'm very well on pace for in terms of the missions. The only thing I have left now is the feats of eliminating 300 and 400 enemy heroes. So, you know, kind of reasonable. You know, we'll see how many matches I get in terms of, because tomorrow, Thursday, this should reset, right? The periodic missions, the cycle missions. So I'm definitely going to do these once again to get, and that's why I haven't really touched this yet. So I'll try to get these remaining battles in over the course of the remaining time that this event is available. And I guess I'll do an updated video on the strategy for it afterwards. You know, even though I don't have the ideal strategy, yeah. Also, for those who are watching, I just wanted to ask, do you guys feel I should stream these matches, the Magic Tower Conquest? Because if you guys are interested in watching a stream of it, I wouldn't mind streaming the battles that I do. I just haven't streamed them because I thought that, honestly, I thought the battles were kind of boring. Alright, so those are the 2 events that are currently running. And shard farming, I've already gone over my plans for this month, so I don't really need to go over it much again, but you know, Yusuke's been finished. So currently the characters I'm farming up is Gizaroth, Hiei, and Ares, right? So I'm just farming these 3 heroes for now. And after that, what should be mentioned is, well, the memory shards. Oh yeah, because I did a total of 110 I spent 110 Trinity vouchers on the Ares Maiya banner after getting Ares. You can see that I have a lot of new, I guess, characters to turn into memory shards, right? So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 SRs to turn into memory essence, along with a whole bunch of rares. So that would give me 2505 memory essence, which pushes this up to 13,855. So I can continue to do my SSR accessory purchases every month. Yeah. Honestly, I could also do some of these other purchases in terms of gambling, but I'd rather not at this time. So I'm just going to hold on to that. And other than that, I mean, I'll briefly mention for Apex Arena, the first week that it occurred, I'm currently at 9 wins, 9 losses, which is a bit of a mess. Now, with that said, my ranking matches, I actually got, I think, 2 wins, 3 losses. So it's been kind of an up and down kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, see the qualifying matches here, right? Win, win, lose, lose, and lose. So you can basically say I made sure I got 2 wins, and then after that, I just YOLO'd, right? Because I was told that apparently if you only get 1 win, you may end up not in gold, but all the way down in like silver or something. Like silver 3 rather than gold 3. So in my case, I literally just chose to win my first few matches. And then after that, I said, hey, look, I already got my 2 wins. You know, the next few matches don't matter, so I'll just try out random things. And that's why I lost the last 3. Right. So, but then after that, I've been kind of winning and losing pretty constantly, right? So it meant that after that, I played another 13 matches. And in those 13 matches, I got 7 wins and 6 losses. So that was a bit of a mess. It seemed like I was winning one match then losing one match pretty consistently. But long story short though, a lot of those losses were partially due to carelessness and partially due to me just trying to figure out how my current Apex party works out, So, for example, there were definitely a few matches where I just made bad plays. Like for example, I had a match against Bakura that I just played poorly and he won as a result. But there were just other matches where, I'm kind of experimenting at this time to figure things out with this party because there are certain vulnerabilities and weaknesses to my Apex team for sure. It's not an ideal team. The ideal meta team right now is more AoE attackers, like throwing in, Rene with her 3C, throwing in Angelina with her 3C, stuff like that. And other characters that could potentially be used, like Sonya and so on, I can't really use because I didn't get enough Twilight Stars. I only have 1. So, unfortunately, even though I did originally build up Sonya properly, I currently don't really use her because I don't have a Twilight Star for her. Stuff like that, And other than that, I'm currently trying to build up more characters to replace some of the existing characters in the team, like Ares. So it's a work in progress, long story short. I really need to kind of transition more of these AoE attackers into my party and reduce the number of assassins, because I currently actually have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hiei, Zerida, Omega, Illustrial, and Diharto. 5 assassins is just honestly way too much. So some transitioning to be done, towards an AoE party. But we'll see how that goes. So, yeah. But currently, 16, 20 points. I can't really complain. My goal really should have been to aim for 1700 this first week. And the thing is, I could have made it into gold too if I had played carefully. But since, as I mentioned, I experimented a bunch of times, took too many losses. By the time I tried to seriously play, it was too late. So I ended up continuing to do some experiments. So, other than that, the other thing that's changed a bit would be my training grounds. And I've done a few more upgrades to the Cavalry training ground. Specifically, I started upgrading the Templar Knights a bit because I realized that the Templar Knights can be used, right? From the Season 3 playoffs where I saw a lot of players use them. So I've been trying to so I'm steadily upgrading the Templar Knights, trying to raise them to level 10. And also, I have the Bone Dinos now maxed out at level 10 so that they can be used. And finally, I think I just started doing a few upgrades here and there to the existing techs. Not to the defense techs and so on, but to these ones, like Group Charge, High Speed, Rapid Routes, and Fine Steel Hooves. So, slowly upgrading this training ground. I'm probably going to max out this training ground first to the 70, 70, 70, 70 level before I switch to another training ground, right? So that's my current plan. As for the next training ground that I'll upgrade, I'm still considering whether to fully max out the Holy training ground, the Holy Demon and Mage training ground. That is one option. Maxing it out so that the Zealots are tankier, so that I can use Crystal Warlocks on a lot of characters, for example. That is one option. The other option is to start raising up the infantry training ground, right? Maxing out the attack here, maxing out the techs like Overrun Tactics, like Emergency Treatment, and maxing out, Solo Striker and Air Defense Armor and so on. So the whole reason to upgrade the infantry training ground is primarily to have access to, let's say, the blue soldiers, the Guardian Infantry, right? Guardian Infantry, when at level 10, I think they provide something like 45% defense. 45 or 50%. 45, I think, was the defense increase. So Guardian Infantry with a 45% defense increase can be ridiculously tanky as long as this training ground is fully upgraded, right? So we'll see about that one. It's not a high priority decision, so it's something that I can do over time. So that's another training ground upgrade that I would like to get done, but ultimately there's only so many upgrades I can do in the 70 days of the Season 4 Apex race. And that pretty much covers everything I wanted to do in this video. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you found this kind of interesting or useful. Nitro out.